of our decision making. Can we do the scrolling, please? Thank you. Historically speaking, we are still a quite young industry, yet already in business since the mid-80s. We grew mainly by acquisition, and as such have a very heterogeneous IT landscape. Change is the only constant thing at Vodafone, and so we have to be ready for it and embrace it. Which brings me to our most recent change in our acquisition history, with the acquisition of Unity Media in Germany and parts of Eastern Europe. It's one of the largest telco M&As in history, and it's talking about hyper disruption. It shifted Vodafone from a mobile communications player into a fixed operator with mobile capabilities. To quote our CEO on it, with the acquisition of Unity Media, we are creating an unprecedented infrastructure boost for the whole of Germany. So how did Vodafone and Teradata's journey get interconnected? Let me take you to the journey. The first mobile phone call in the UK was made by Vodafone in the year 1985. The technology was far away from where we stand today, and everything was heavy hardware, including the first so-called mobile phones. Question to the audience. Anybody an idea how much the weight was of the first transportable phone of Vodafone?
5 pounds. 2 pounds.
It was 5 kilo, which is about 10 pounds. Or if you like, it's the equivalent of carrying around about 25 new iPhone 11s with you in order to make your mobile phone call. So let's move into the 90s. Technology growth was key. Service and customers came later. Another example of this technology first was the texting capability. We might remember texting was initially intended for engineers to communicate with each other. We never thought it would become so popular for the masses. I think actually in the beginning we gave that service for free. It was at this time that Teradata and Vodafone began a long-lasting business partnership. Just in time, because data was about to explode. On to the new millennium. An exciting time for all of us who were working in any kind of IT role at that time. You probably remember how suddenly 2 more digits became so important. And for sure, some of you might remember the BlackBerry, or as it was called those days, the Crackberry, because it was glued to people's hands. Who ever thought one would need a keyboard on a mobile phone? Moving into 2002, business intelligence made its entry into Vodafone. And at the same time, Teradata was maturing its technology. And Vodafone created its first EDW. The step from mobile data to mobile internet was heavily supported by the introduction of new phones. Like we might remember the first entrance of the first ever iPhone in the year 2007. Now, today, we have arrived at convergence. Any device, anytime, any place, whilst always being connected, as an individual or a household, without worrying about bill shock. That's my definition of a good convergent product offering. So here we are now, getting close to the year 2020, where another generation of mobile communication technology has arrived. 5G and the Internet of Things will bring us low latency, high volume capabilities in a mobile form. Everything will be connected to everything, and being able to communicate with everything. And throughout this decade of change, the concept of an ecosystem arrived with the hype of Hadoop and the need to find a way to process even more volumes of data and data types more quickly. The choice of storing all that data and processing that data on-premise or in the cloud is available to all of us. Teradata offers its customers with Vantage and the Binet software the capability to make use of unlimited volumes of data by providing speed and simplicity throughout its scalable solutions. Which brings us to the end of the timeline, yet only to the beginning of new challenges and opportunities, which were already introduced from a Teradata perspective by Oliver. Hyper-disruption and pervasive digitization resonate with the key strategic initiatives of Vodafone.